and stability. We can't look into Mr. Assad's eyes and evaluate his intentions, but what we can do is judge his policies and outcomes for which he should be held accountable. The Syrian people are doing just that after 41 years of Assad rule, and they're giving him a failing grade. But the crisis has also a regional dimension. He and his supporters' latest, most desperate defense is that Syria is the beating heart of Arabism and therefore deserves special treatment. The problem with this argument, lest anyone has forgotten, is that the millions of Arabs who took the streets this year have redefined Arabism to give it real, substantive meaning, democracy, dignity, economic justice, and opportunity. Assad-style Arabism is loathed throughout the region, not admired. Arabs reject Assad's narrative, and he has no remaining appeal. Don't take it from me. Every poll shows his popularity in the Arab world to have shrunken to a minimum. The latest Brookings poll shows that 86% of Arabs support the Syrian uprising. The Zogby poll agrees with this finding and indicates that the overwhelming majority of Arabs think this is a popular revolt, not a foreign conspiracy, as Assad asserts. More than 90% of Arabs think that he can no longer govern the country. And in essence, they agree with our side of the motion. 4 decades of empty, bombastic, Assad-style Arabism have not helped Syria recover the Golan Heights, or advance the Palestinian cause, or stabilize Lebanon. To the contrary. And all this has cost the Syrian people dearly. Oppression, political underdevelopment, isolation, and most recently, sectarianism. Certainly without Assad and his system, Syria can again become a beacon of prosperity, culture, and tolerance for its great and courageous people.
Emile Hokayem, thank you very much indeed. It could become a beacon for that, or it could become another Iraq, couldn't it? You simply don't know.
All possibilities are open, but what is...
Well, there's nothing whatever to suggest even the remotest chance of a peaceful handover, is there?
So far, everyone is amazed at how resilient and peaceful the Syrian protesters have been. They've been under attack for 8 months. We've seen sectarian retribution only in the past few months.
And they've been fighting back, and as I said earlier, posting forced confessions from security men that they captured.
We don't have, we have only...
Self-defense, forced confessions are self-defense? I don't think so. I've never seen self-defense that resulted in a forced confession before.
Well, there are extreme elements in the opposition. No one will deny...
The same thing that the human rights organizations accuse Assad of.
This is the problem, is 40 years of brutality. I'm sure there's some in the...
Okay, so all you're advocating then is to exchange one brutality with another.
Not at all.
Which may be even worse.
The Syrian opposition is a lot more diverse and a lot more tolerant and a lot more peaceful than the Assad regime is. We've seen
the early signs are not good, are they?
The early signs? They've been under relentless attacks by the regime for 8 months. They've been under relentless attacks by the regime for 8 months, and we have seen them in most of the regions stay peaceful, utterly peaceful, and actually
it's a mistake to call them one group, isn't it? Because they are deeply divided on major issues, the various opposition groups.
They are asking for the same thing, which is the downfall of that regime.
Yeah, but they want it in very different ways.
Certainly, but for the moment, the leadership of the opposition and most Syrian activists stand by their ground. They want a peaceful revolution.
And you don't think they'd settle scores in the Alawite villages in Syria?
Well, the onus is on...
Because most Western observers feel that they would. At a minimum, that is the kind of retribution that they would seek.
For the moment, it's the regime that's inflaming sectarian passions and actually endangering the Alawite community for the day the transition happens. It's not about the opposition going into those regions and causing death and violence.
All right, Emile Hokayem, thank you very much
indeed.
Thank you. Now, please, could I ask Kamel Wazne to speak against the motion?
Good evening. No one can deny that reform is needed in Syria as is needed in most of the Arab worlds. The current crisis highlights the impasse we are facing. What is needed? Political reform, political change, democracy, more freedom? Yes to all, but at what cost? And to what extent we are pushing the country into the unknown. Today, the Arabs voted for sanction, economic sanction against Syria. It's a sad day. What's happening is too fast, too quick, to pull the trigger. What we want in Syria? Sectarian war? Rise to Islamic extremism? I have heard of many killings start based on religious beliefs. Killing, assassination. A few days ago, 7 of the Air Force were killed in an ambush. What for? What was their crime? Just because there were Syrian soldiers? Today, the Middle East is facing the American withdrawal of Iraq, from Iraq. Some would say America lost Iraq. America got defeated in Iraq, and some US policymakers wondering of Syria becoming the locus of a new regional proxy war between Syria ally, Iran, and the other camp, Saudi Arabia and the Persian Gulf country with the backing of the US. Yes, that is true. They need to keep Iran